The Chicago Bulls really are like a farm team for the rest of the NBA. Last year, you had them trading Caruso to the Thunder for Josh Giddey. This year, you have Lonzo Ball to the Cavaliers for Isaac Okoro. Both of those teams were like, we have this guy who underperformed in the playoffs, and we want to make an upgrade so that we can make a run to the finals next season. Let's hit up the Chicago Bulls. What's up, guys? I'm Ross at Shy Sports Ross. Wish we were about to have a more fun conversation, but you can find me at Shy Sports Ross on all the platforms. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. So that's now Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, and Lonzo Ball. The big core of 2021, all traded, and the only first-round draft pick the Bulls got back was their own from the Spurs that they traded to get DeRozan in the first place. It's interesting how they value these players at first-round picks when they're trading for them, but not when they're making the negotiation to trade them away. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I've said it all. I feel like there's nothing left to say. It just feels like they don't value draft capital. They don't trade their players when their value is at the highest. And they seem to just take whatever trade is first available when they're looking at where to move a player. Like, am I supposed to believe that Okoro was the best offer that they could get? We heard reports that teams were offering first-round picks for Lonzo at the trade deadline. So not only did you not trade him when his value was the highest, but it seems like you didn't even negotiate for this trade. The Cavs just hit you up and said, hey, Okoro, and you're like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. I really don't know what else to say. It's disappointing. It's frustrating. I'm still excited for Noah Asenge. I think that they made a good draft pick, but if the Bulls are going to be successful at any time in the near future, it's going to be out of luck. It's going to be accidental. It's not going to be because of these moves that they've made. So you now have 3 draft picks from the top 10 of 2020. So that's Patrick Williams, Jalen Smith, Isaac Okoro. And I like Jalen Smith, but it seems like they're trying to mask or remedy the mistake they made by giving Patrick Williams that contract by trying to bring in as many wing players as they can. Like, they're just gonna keep throwing darts at the wall until someone's better than Patrick. But Okoro is not the guy. Again, we talked about this with Jalen Green and Kuminga, where if you have a team that was really good last season, was in the playoffs, was the best team in the Eastern Conference for Christ's sakes, and they're trying to get rid of one of their young players, that's not a good sign. That's a red flag. If the best team in the Eastern Conference doesn't want a young wing player on a relatively cheap deal, that's a bad sign, Bulls. That's a bad sign. And he's on a cheap deal, but it's slightly more expensive than Lonzo's deal. It's like $1 or $2 more million per year than Lonzo was making with that extension they gave him. So the Bulls gave him an extension of 2 years with a team option in the second year, essentially a 1-year deal. I think it was worth like $10 million annually. Okoro, on the other hand, is making almost $12 million up until 2027. So you have essentially made your cap situation harder for a player that is worse from a team that wanted to get rid of him. Like, what are we doing? I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom and be a pessimist, but like, what the fuck? At this point, I'm actually really nervous to find out what kind of value Nikola Vucevic would be able to bring back in a trade. I know what I think he could get, but clearly the front office and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. We'd be lucky to get a ham sandwich made out of 3-week-old lunch meat with a questionable color and texture and smell. And even at that, the front office would be like, oh no, we don't need cheese. We don't need a spread. Save the fancy bread. Just give us Wonder Bread and that 3-week-old ham, baby. You got yourself a Vooch. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say. I think that's it. Wish this conversation had been more fun. Again, you can follow me at Shy Sports Ross on all the platforms. Gonna have another podcast coming out this Monday of the Rosscast. Make sure to stay tuned for that. We're gonna be recapping the draft from last week, all of the trades that the Bulls have made now, so the second round trade and the Lonzo Ball trade and free agency coming up. There's gonna be a lot going on, so make sure to subscribe. I will talk to you guys very soon.